There are 7 ways to spend money on a coffee machine. One's a trap disguised as a bargain, another a trap disguised as luxury, and almost everyone walks into at least one. But the real value hides at one of these levels, and it's almost never where people think to look. This is every level of the coffee machine market, from the $20 Mr. Coffee drip pot up to the $6,000 commercial machine on somebody's counter. We'll cover what you get, what you're really paying for, and the one question that matters more than price: which level do you actually belong on? Most people are 1 or 2 levels off from where they think they are, and it's costing them money, good coffee, or both. Quick note before we climb: you already know about the pod trap, the capsules that cost more per pound than a steak dinner. So we're not counting those. One important thing before we get started: subscribe to the channel, or you won't see the valuable tip that will save you a lot of money. Level 1 runs $20 to $80, the inherited default. This is the drip machine your parents had, the Mr. Coffee, the Hamilton Beach, the plastic one that came free with something else. You fill the tank, dump in pre-ground coffee, press a button, and walk away, and it works. It makes hot brown caffeinated liquid, and for a lot of people that's the whole job. But here's the quiet problem nobody mentions. That little hot plate under the carafe is slowly cooking your coffee, and 10 minutes later it tastes burnt because it literally is. And the coffee going in was already pre-ground, losing flavor for months. You're not overpaying up front, you're paying in quality, every cup, forever. But if you've ever thought coffee just tastes kind of bitter and you don't get the hype, this is probably the reason. You didn't inherit bad taste, you inherited a bad hot plate. Level 2 runs $15 to $70, and here's the first plot twist of the whole video. The best value in coffee is also the cheapest thing on the ladder. These are the manual brewers, the AeroPress at around $40, the Hario V60 is a $25 ceramic cone, the Chemex, the French press. No electricity, no pump, no computer, just you, hot water, and fresh grounds. Done right, they embarrass machines that cost 50 times more. No exaggeration. A $25 V60 with fresh, properly ground beans beats a $300 drip machine running stale pre-ground almost every time. The reason is control. You set the temperature, the pour, the bloom, that swell when fresh coffee first hits water. It's essentially the same method James Hoffmann has spent years demonstrating on YouTube. That technique and fresh beans outperform expensive hardware at nearly every price point. The catch is they reward technique, so expect a few flat cups before it clicks. But the ceiling is absurdly high for the money, and each has its own personality. If you care about taste and you're on a budget, this is the most honest answer in coffee, the level a lot of snobs quietly come back to. And notice, we're 2 levels in and still haven't broken $100. Level 3 runs $150 to $300, and this is where the road forks. At this price, you're deciding who you are. The first path is better filter coffee on autopilot. The OXO Brew at around $200, or the Bonavita Connoisseur. These carry SCA certification, that's the Specialty Coffee Association, and it means something because they hold the water right in the window. The SCA says you need around 90 to 96 degrees Celsius, ideally 93, something your level 1 machine never came close to. The second path is your first real espresso machine, the De'Longhi Dedica or the Rancilio Silvia, both in the $200 range with fresh grounds, a real portafilter, a 15-bar pump, and a steam wand. They're compact and affordable, and they'll make you feel like a barista right after they humble you a few dozen times. Because a thermoblock forces you to choose between brewing and steaming, and punishes every lazy shortcut. Either way, this is the most honest money in the market, and you've left mediocre coffee behind for the price of one nice dinner. Most would be happy stopping here, and most don't, which is exactly where the overpaying begins. Level 4 runs $350 to $600. Boutique drip. You've got the Technivore Moccamaster at $369, hand-built in the Netherlands with a copper heating element, and the Ratio 6 at $365, all stainless steel and glass. Beautiful objects that brew genuinely great filter coffee. But here's the honest part nobody's selling them will say. This is the ceiling for drip. Above this number, filter coffee doesn't get meaningfully better. You're paying for build quality and design for a machine that'll outlive 3 cheaper ones, all real things to want. What you're not buying is a dramatic jump in the cup over a level 3 brewer at half the price. It's worth it if you'll keep it a decade and you love the ritual. But when someone tells you a $500 drip machine makes coffee twice as good as a $200 one, they're selling you the object, not the coffee. Still with me? Good, because this is the half where people overpay the most, and where that one level with the real value finally starts to make sense. Level 5 runs $500 to $1,500, the automation tier, where the money starts getting slippery. Two very different machines live here. First, the guided all-in-ones, the Ninja Luxe at around $500, and the Breville Barista Express and Pro from $700 to $850. Built-in grinder, semi-automatic, they walk you through pulling a real shot, and you're still the barista. They just make it hard to fail. Then the full super automatics, the Philips Latte Go, the Gaggia, the Seiko. Push one button and a latte appears, beans in, drink out, you touch nothing. What you're paying for is convenience, and that's legitimately worth real money to a lot of people. But understand the trade. The quality of your cup is capped by that small built-in grinder, exactly the corner they cut to hit the price. A $300 grinder, something like a Barazza Vario or a DF64, feeding a cheaper machine will often beat these outright. So it's fantastic if you value speed and zero fuss, just know you're buying the workflow, not the best coffee, and that's still up the ladder. Level 6 runs $1,800 to $3,500, true enthusiast territory. Think the Lelit Bianca, the Profitec Pro 600, the ECM Synchronica. These are dual boiler machines, one boiler for brewing and one for steaming, each at its own precise PID-controlled temperature. That stability is the one thing every cheaper machine fakes, and these deliver it, shot after shot. Most run an E61 group head, a heavy chunk of brass that keeps everything thermally rock-steady, and several add flow control, letting you change the water pressure by hand mid-shot. At that point, you're not making coffee anymore, you're conducting it. A soft pre-infusion, a ramp up, an ease off at the end to tame the bitterness. Serious users at this level also swap to a bottomless portafilter, no spout, open basket, because it instantly shows you channeling, the uneven flow through the puck that silently wrecks extraction yield. It's a diagnostic tool as much as an accessory, but here's the warning label. Because this machine will not fix your technique. Hand a Synchronica to someone who can't dial in a grinder, and they'll pull worse shots than a beginner on a $200 Dedica. The machine rewards skill, it doesn't hand it to you. Level 7 starts at $3,500 and climbs from there, the passion tax in its final form. There's the decent DE1 at around $3,600, which lets you profile every second of the shot from an app. There's the La Marzocco Linea Micra at $3,900, plus Synesso and Londinium. These are home machines that crossed into commercial territory and stopped pretending otherwise. Commercial-grade components, total control over the extraction, build quality that'll outlast your kitchen. At this level, things you never thought about matter. Water this hard will destroy a machine this expensive, so serious owners treat their water like an ingredient, testing mineral content with a TDS meter, or using a product like third wave water to hit the right parts per million, because it literally is an ingredient. And here's the part nobody says in the showroom. To get what these machines can give you, you already have to be excellent. A grinder that costs as much as a whole level 3 setup, fresh single origin beans, and the obsession to chase flow rates at 7 in the morning. If you belong here, you knew it long before this video started. If you're even slightly unsure, you don't, and that's fine. Master level 3, first you'll know when it's time. So here's the thing the industry would rather you never worked out. The machine is not the bottleneck. Fresh beans, a proper grind, clean equipment, and repeatable technique, that's at least 80% of what ends up in your cup at every level from $20 to $6,000. Level 1 is a quiet quality tax. Level 4 is where drip stops improving. Level 5 is convenience in the costume of quality. Level 7 only rewards the people who earned it. And the real value is hiding down at levels 2 and 3 where hardly anyone looks. But there's one piece I've been hinting at the whole time, and it matters more than the machine you pick. The biggest single part of that 80% is the grinder, and a bad one sabotages every machine on this ladder. From the $200 Dedica to the $6,000 Linea Micra. So there's a whole other ladder you need to see, built the same way. The 5 levels of coffee grinders and where most people overpay. Get the machine right and the grinder wrong, and none of this mattered. That's the video on screen right now. Go watch it.